So next we'll discuss about the mechanism of enzyme catalysis. Mechanism of enzyme catalysis. So mechanism of enzyme catalysis. It consists of following steps. The first step, the enzyme E reacts with the substrate S. This enzyme is acting upon the substrate S. Enzyme with the substrate, but a reactant operates apply to form enzyme substrate complex. To form an enzyme substrate complex. So in the first step, enzyme and treatment of the substrate S form enzyme substrate complex. The second step, enzyme substrate complex decomposes or gives or changes to enzyme product complex. Changes to enzyme product complex. So this is enzyme product complex. So enzyme substrate complex changes to enzyme product complex. In the next, the enzyme product complex decomposes or gives the final product P. So enzyme the enzyme product complex changes to the product P and enzyme E. Our main aim is to form product P from substrate S. Reactant is our S. How S? On treatment with enzyme, forming P and regenerating the enzyme. First enzyme substrate by reactant सहित इंटरैक्ट करिकी एक कॉम्प्लेक्स फॉर्मेशन करे जो कॉम्प्लेक्स टा कहंदी एंजाइम सबस्ट्रेट कॉम्प्लेक्स. एंजाइम सबस्ट्रेट कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोडक्ट फॉर्मेशन करि परिबो. एंजाइम सबस्ट्रेट कॉम्प्लेक्स चेंजेस टू एंजाइम प्रोडक्ट कॉम्प्लेक्स. एंजाइम सबस्ट्रेट कॉम्प्लेक्स चेंजेस टू एंजाइम प्रोडक्ट कॉम्प्लेक्स. This enzyme product complex can form products. This enzyme product complex can form the product P and enzyme E. Okay? So this is the mechanism of enzyme catalysis. Then activity and selectivity of the catalyst. Activity and selectivity of catalyst. Activity of a catalyst means it is the ability of the catalyst to catalyze a chemical reaction. So activity means it is the ability of a catalyst to catalyze a chemical reaction. activity refers that in the absence of catalyst, a chemical reaction cannot occur. So activity denotes the ability of the catalyst to form the product. For example, 2H2 plus O2. So in the absence of the catalyst platinum, there is no formation of water, very less amount of water is formed, negligible amount of water is formed if carry the reaction in the presence of catalyst platinum. If you carry the reaction in the presence of catalyst platinum, then appreciable amount of water is formed. So this is called the ability of the catalyst. So ability of the catalyst refers to the formation of product from reactant in the presence of catalyst. So in the absence of catalyst, very negligible amount of product is formed. But in the presence of catalyst, that negligible amount of product is converted into appreciable amount. So a catalyst has the ability to form the product, and in the absence of catalyst, there is no formation of product or lesser amount of product is formed. Then come to selectivity of the catalyst. So selectivity of a catalyst is the ability of the catalyst to direct a chemical reaction. It is the ability of the catalyst to direct a chemical reaction. For example, if you treat acetylene with H2 in the presence of platinum, they are getting ethyl. So ethyl to ethyl. If you change the catalyst, then so in the presence of platinum, we are getting ethane from ethyl. But if you change the catalyst, palladium and barium carbonate, palladium in presence of barium carbonate, then that acetylene instead of forming alkane forms alkene. So if you change the catalyst, then direction of the product is changed. From acetylene we are getting alkane in the presence of catalyst platinum. From acetylene we are getting alkene in the presence of palladium and barium carbonate. Okay. So this is called the selectivity of the catalyst. To form the product. If change in catalyst means change in the formation of product. Okay. This is called the selectivity of the catalyst. So thus, ability of a catalyst means to form the product, and selectivity of the catalyst means to change the direction of the product. Is called selectivity of the catalyst. So this is about the catalysis. We have discussed the definition of catalyst, what is positive catalyst, what is negative catalyst, and we have given some examples. Then we have discussed the characteristics of catalysis, what is heterogeneous catalysis, what is homogeneous catalysis. We have given the mechanism also. Then we have discussed about enzyme catalysis, the characteristics of enzyme catalysis. Then we have discussed the mechanism of the enzyme catalysis. Then we have discussed the selectivity and ability of the catalyst. So this is about catalyst and catalysis. So next we will discuss the last part of surface chemistry, that is called colloidal state. We will discuss about colloidal state. We will discuss about colloidal state. So colloidal state, or you can say colloidal solution also. So colloidal state and colloidal, or you can say colloidal solution. So before going to colloidal solution, we have discussed about the classification of solution. So the solution how a solution is formed. When solvent plus solute is mixed with each other. Solvent and solute are mixed with each other, then a solution is formed. So solvent plus solute giving solution. So depending upon the size of the solute, depending upon the size of the solute, we are getting three types of solution. Depending upon the size of the solute, we are getting three types of solution. तो solute रो size range को नहीं की हमें three प्रकार solution पढ़ाचे. गोटे होची true solution, second one is colloidal solution, true solution, colloidal solution, third one is suspension. Third one is suspension. So true solution, colloidal solution and suspension are three categories of solution depending upon the size of the solute particle. So we will discuss one by one the properties of three types of solution. How can distinguish between true solution, colloidal solution and suspension? We will discuss one by one. So solution means solvent plus solute. Solution means solvent plus solute. So depending upon the size of the solute, we can give which is true solution, which is colloidal solution, and which is suspension. Depending upon the size of the solute. So first in colloidal solution, size of the solute particle varies from 1 nanometer to 100 nanometer. 1 nanometer to 100 nanometer or 10 angstrom to 10 angstrom to 1000 angstrom. 10 angstrom to 1000 angstrom. 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer and 10 angstrom to 10,000 angstrom. So, in colloidal solution, this is the size range of the colloidal particle, or this is the size range of the solute particle. If the size range of the solute particle is less than 1 nanometer, it is known as true solution. So less than 1 nanometer, it is known as forming a true solution, or you can say it is 1 millimicron to 1 nanometer, or 1 millimicron to 1 nanometer. From 1 nanometer to colloidal solution. So greater than 10 nanometer or 1 nanometer is known as suspension. So let us again discuss about the solute particle range. So depending upon the solute particle range, we have three types of solution. If the solute particle range or size of the solute particle is in between 1 nanometer to 1000 nanometer, then it is called colloidal solution. If size range is greater than 1 nanometer, so greater than 1000 nanometer, then it is called true solution, suspension. If it is less than 1 nanometer, it is known as true solution. Less than, also you can express in another unit, 1 millimicron to 1 millimicron to 1 millimicron to 1 nanometer. It can be 1 millimicron to 1 nanometer. So, or you can say less than 1 nanometer is the solute particle range of the true solution. So, this is the particle size range of the true solution, colloidal solution, and suspension. Second difference is, this is the difference on the basis of size of the colloidal particle. Second point, difference on the basis of filtration. Difference on the basis of filtration. This true solution is not separated by ordinary filter paper. So ordinary filter paper रे true solution रो particle को solid particle को solvent particle करू separate करी हबो नहीं. So not separated by ordinary filter paper. So same case, not separated by ordinary filter paper. But for suspension particle, since size of the solute particle is large, more than 1000 nanometer, it can be separated. We can separate the solute particle from solvent by suspension. So by ordinary filter paper, we can separate the suspension solution by ordinary filter paper. So separate. So by ordinary filter paper, true solution cannot be separated. Means solute and solvent particle can अलग करिगा नहीं. एठी भी colloidal solution नो मध्य solute और solvent particle को अलग करिगा नहीं. किंतु suspension रे हमें solute और solvent को अलग करिगा by ordinary filter paper. Number 3 point, ultrafiltration. Ultrafiltration also not possible in case of true solution. Not possible. So on the basis of ultrafiltration, we can separate solid particle from solvent. So not possible. Not possible. This is possible. So ultrafiltration is possible means we can separate the colloidal particle from its solvent in a colloidal solution. The colloidal solution रे ultrafiltration करके colloidal particle को तार solvent particle ठारू अलगा करी पारि. Obviously it is also possible. बेसिकली कहया बोले ट्रू सॉल्यूशन टाकू हमें नॉर्मल फिल्ट्रेशन हो कि अल्ट्रा फिल्ट्रेशन हो माने सॉल्यूट सॉल्वेंट को अलगा कर परबा नाही. कोलाइडल सॉल्यूशन रे नॉर्मल फिल्टर पेपर में अलगा कर बे नाही कि अल्ट्रा फिल्ट्रेशन रे हमें तो अलगा करी पाहि. सस्पेंशन जे कोनोसी फिल्ट्रेशन करो सस्पेंशन रे हमें सॉलिड पार्टिकल को सॉल्वेंट पार्टिकल ठारू अलगा करी पारि. नेक्स्ट another 4-5 properties are there. Diffusion. Next property is diffusion. True solution diffuse rapidly. True solution diffuse rapidly. True solution diffuse rapidly. Colloidal solution don't diffuse rapidly, but diffuse slowly. Diffuse slowly. And suspension don't diffuse. It can flow, don't diffuse. Don't diffuse. So in case of true solution, diffusion is possible. Colloidal solution diffuse slowly, and diffusion process occurs slowly. And suspension don't diffuse. Then appearance. True solution केमी देखा जाए. True solution transparent देखा जाए. Suspension opaque. Colloidal solution almost transparent. It is completely transparent. It is almost transparent. It is opaque. This is about the transverse character of three types of solution. Next come to Brownian movement. Brownian movement is not possible in true solution. It is possible in colloidal solution. In case of suspension, may or may not be possible. And Brownian movement true solution देखेगा नहीं, किंतु colloidal solution देखेगा, suspension देखे ही पारे और ना देखे ही पारे. Nature. True solution is homogeneous in nature. Kahin? Because true solution रे solid particle का completely dissolve नहीं था solvent. से भाई से homogeneous solution. But colloidal solution is heterogeneous in nature. Colloidal solution is heterogeneous in nature. Heterogeneous means solvent solute अलग-अलग प्रेशर है, डिफरेंट प्रेशर है, कंप्लीटली मिसिबल नहीं. सॉलिड पार्टिकल का सॉल्वेंट और कंप्लीटली मिसिबल है. But in case of suspension, true solution and solid particle and solvent particle forms different phase, so it is also heterogeneous. Heterogeneous and homogeneous. Homogeneous nature of this true solution and heterogeneous nature of the colloidal solution. and heterogeneous nature of the suspension. So this is about the classification of the colloidal solution on the basis of the size of the solid particle. Next, we can give the classification of colloidal solution. In this case, we have discussed about the classification of solution. Next, we will give a classification about colloidal solution. Next is classification of colloidal solution. Classification of colloidal solution. So number one classification of colloidal solution is classification on the basis of dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Classification on the basis of dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So what is dispersed phase and what is dispersion medium? So a solution means solvent plus solute gives rise to solution. So in colloidal chemistry, solvent is dispersion medium. And solute is dispersed phase. Gives rise to colloidal solution. So solvent plus solute, solution, dispersion medium, dispersed phase gives rise to colloidal solution. So classification on the basis of dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So depending upon the state of the dispersion medium and dispersed phase, dispersion medium and dispersed phase of state could solid, liquid, gas. We are getting 8 types of colloidal solution. So next we will give a brief classification of colloidal solution on the basis of dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Okay. So serial number, dispersed phase, serial number, dispersed phase, and dispersion medium. Dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Dispersed phase, dispersion medium. Name of the colloidal system. Name of the colloidal system. Name of the colloidal system. Then example. So serial number 1. There are 8 types of colloidal solution on the basis of dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So there are 8 types of colloidal solution on the basis of dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So dispersed phase, solid. This is solid. Solid plus solid. You can say name of the color solid stone. Example is alloy. Alloy, stone, etc. So if dispersed phase is solid and dispersion medium is solid, then the colloidal solution is solid stone. An example is alloys. If it is solid and it is liquid, it is called soap. An example is paint, gold, stars. Name of the soap. Example is paint, stars, etc. So dispersed phase is solid, means solute is solid and solvent is liquid. We are getting the name of the colloidal solution is soap. Example is paint, starch, etc. If dispersed phase is solid and dispersion medium is gas, it is known as aerosol of solid. It is known as aerosol of solid. An example of aerosols of solid is smoke, dust, etc. Smoke, dust, etc. So, if dispersed phase is solid, dispersion medium is solid, and it is solid soap. It is solid and liquid soap. Solid gas, aerosol of solid, smoke, dust, etc. Next, we will change the dispersed phase. Liquid, solid, liquid, 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 gas. Liquid, solid, liquid, 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 gas. So the liquid solid will give an important types of colloidal solution which is called gel. Liquid solid will give gel, and example is jelly, butter. Example is jelly, butter. If dispersed phase is liquid and dispersion medium is liquid, it is called emulsion. Emulsion. Example is milk. Example is milk. So liquid, it is called emulsion, and example is wind. Liquid gas, example is aerosol of liquid. Name of the color is aerosol of liquid. Aerosol of liquid, and example is mist, fog, cloud, etc. Mist, fog, cloud, etc. The liquid gas, the aerosol of liquid, mist, fog, cloud, etc. So next, this is classification 4, this is 5, this is 6. Then come to 7 and 8. 7 and 8, the gas, solid, gas, liquid, what? There is no gas and gas. Because gas and gas are not forming a heterogeneous mixture. It is a homogeneous mixture. So it will not form colloidal solution. Gas is a colloidal solution of nine. So there is no examples of colloidal in which both dispersed phase and dispersion medium gas है. से पानी आर किछि example नहीं colloidal classification नहीं. Gas solid अछि, gas liquid अछि. Gas solid is solid form. Solid form. Solid form is example of gas and solid. Example is foam and rubber. Foam, rubber, etc. Then gas liquid. Gas liquid is foam or froth. Foam or froth. Example is soap, leather. Soap, leather. Soap and leather is the example of gas liquid system. So there are totally 8 types of colloids on the basis of the nature of the dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So there are 8 types of colloids. So number 1 classification of colloidal solution is over. Number 1 classification was on the basis of nature of dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Number 2 classification of colloid depending upon the interaction between dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Depending upon the interaction between dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So on the basis of this, how dispersed phase is interacting with dispersion medium. Dispersed phase or dispersion medium with interaction को लेकी 2 types of colloid अछि. एटा होछि लियोफिलिक colloid. Liyophilic colloid. Second is liophobic colloid. Liyophilic colloid and liophobic colloid. depending upon the interaction between dispersed phase and dispersion medium. The interaction between solvent and solute. Dispersion medium means solvent. Dispersed phase means solute. We have got two types of colloid. One is lyophilic colloid and other is lyophobic colloid. So, what is lyophilic colloid and what is lyophobic colloid? In lyophilic colloid, a strong interaction takes place between dispersion medium and dispersed phase. A strong interaction takes place. A strong interaction takes place between dispersion medium and dispersed phase. So, lyophilic colloid is that type of colloid in which both dispersed phase and dispersion medium are strongly attracted with each other. Since it is strongly attracted with each other, it has its property differ from lyophobic colloid. In lyophobic colloid, dispersion medium is not interacting strongly with dispersed phase. There is no strong interaction between dispersion medium and dispersed phase. So it is called a weak colloid. It is called a strong colloid. So properties of dispersed phase are different from properties of dispersion medium. So we will discuss one by one. So colloidal solution in which the particles of the dispersed phase have great affinity for the dispersion medium are called lyophilic colloid. Example is gum, starch are lyophilic colloid. And colloidal solution in which that is lyophobic colloid. Lyophobic colloid. The colloidal solution in which dispersed phase has less affinity towards dispersion medium are known as lyophobic colloid. Example is solution of metal like copper, Ag and ore. Copper, Ag and ore. The solution of metals like copper, Ag and ore. Also the hydroxide of aluminum, that is AlOH3, hydroxide of iron, that is FeOH3, and metal sulfide like S2, S3, S2S3. So sulfide metals of arsenic, hydroxide of Fe, that is FeOH3, hydroxide of aluminum, that is AlOH3 are examples of lyophobic colloid. So this is the basic difference between lyophobic colloid and lyophilic colloid.